Hello, my name is Soy. I am a longtime player of MechWarrior Online. Uh, I took a break for a year and a half from the game, but I've come back to play it again, and I'm having a lot of fun. Maybe more than I used to. I think that's because I'm not playing the game so seriously, whereas I used to, or at least I had something to prove. I have nothing to prove anymore in this game to anyone. But at the same time, I have a responsibility to my own principles and ethics. Um, Long story short, there's been a whole lot of, recently at least, and ongoing the entire time, there's been a long, uh, struggling issue from a very cryptic standpoint for years now about cheating within games, specifically MechWarrior. And for years, when I used to play the game serious, I had the same mentality that most players these days do, and that is get the fuck out. That's fucking garbage. Yeah, that's not the truth. Um, the truth is that there are people cheated in this game. Who? I don't know. It's not my business. I didn't come back to this game to play competitive again. I came back to this game to have fun. Um, but it's been brought to my attention that cheating does exist. Recently, there's been some talk about cheating, specifically on Reddit and in some other mediums. It's been mostly shot down, and not only that, it's been presented in a incredibly trite and uncompelling manner with people who are afraid to talk about who they are. They're afraid to be entirely transparent. Um, that's not the right way to go about it. Now, before I get into it, let me just say a few more things. Uh, First off, I've seen the cheat in person myself, and it fucking blew me away. Uh, it melted my brain. Well, what's left of it. Um, it's real. Where do I start? I'm just going to name some of the things that exist in this cheat. Radar hack. Most importantly, let's just start with this notion. The hack is able to turn off every single thing in terms of UI. On the fly, you can turn it on and off. So, when people talk about legitimacy of streaming, that's a fucking joke. They could be cheating. Let me go a little bit further. The wall hack is basically like a nice perpetual radar hack. Basically, the game takes everything that is sent from server side to client side, including enemy positions, including everyone's position. So, I think that's due to the difficulty of telling a game client side and accounting for something like ping in an FPS. It's very difficult to tell a game that player doesn't exist. Now they exist, right? But to do it within faster than your fucking ping, basically instantly, is really, really difficult. So the radar hack works because the game always sees every single player, including enemies, at all times. It just doesn't put them on your screen. The hack goes, fuck you, looks in that packet and sniffs it and goes, boing, here they are. So from the start of the match, you see where everyone is. Uh, as you can imagine, someone could be doing this, giving info. They make it look like they're legit, or it sounds legit because you don't know, and then you won right there. It could be as simple as a round starts, and your buddy who's using the hack or something goes, there's an assault lance over here that's going to get NASCAR'd if we press him really quick. There you go, bang, round's already over within 5 seconds. You can extrapolate to other situations. Secondly, the aimbot. The aimbot is legit. The aimbot is real. The aimbot comes with a instruction manual. A fucking instruction manual. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, people who think, oh, it's a fucking aimbot, it doesn't work well. Okay, let's look at the reality. The game is slow as a fucking glacier. Okay? How the fuck do you think that an aimbot can't fucking work in this game? Are you demented? It doesn't matter if it's a hit scan. It doesn't matter if it's a projectile. It can fucking aim it. The reason for this is because you actually yourself program the fucking aimbot. It has code. It has fucking huge... It has a fucking manual, okay? It emails you a fucking manual so you can code it yourself, the aimbot part of it. So, in other words, the thing about the aimbot is your mileage may vary. Basically, you could set up the aimbot where it'll only hit cockpit on a mech that shuts down, right? Or you can make it go center mass. And it's very analog. Like I said, you program it so you can make it where it washes out and looks very, very legit. In other words, you start to aim normally. You hit the hotkey for the aimbot or whatever, and it compensates for you. And then you can let go of it halfway on the way to your aim, right? But it just, you can imagine little things like that you can wash the aimbot with, scrub it, and make it look very legitimate. This is where the issue is. Now let's combine the two things I previously said about the hack. You can take a bot program that removes all trace of its existence on the user's UI, and then you can program the bot very sophisticated so that way it does very, very, very natural aim precision. You can make it look like you're missing, and then halfway through your laser, just go bang to chest, right? You see what I'm saying? Or you can arbitrarily miss 3 Gauss rounds in a row, and then go bang and headshot a motherfucker. Oh, I just got lucky. He wasn't hacking, he missed the first 3 times. So, I've been reading these threads and hearing people talk about this, and I'm just laughing because it's like, this is legit, this is real, this has been occurring. Now, here's some more facts. The program was last updated September 8th, 2012 or 2013. What difference does it make? That means you can take something out of that. Now, before we take something out of it, consider the notion that you can use this hack and you're not going to get banned. There is no cheat detection in MechWarrior that sees this hack and goes, get the fuck out. None whatsoever. You can get on your fucking main account, run this hack program for years, every fucking day for hours, and headshot people over and over and over. No, they're not going to do anything. PGI has literally no fucking concern for this. The reason for this, that I know this as a fact, twofold. First, the hack was last updated 2 years ago plus. That means there's been no additional security applied to the game since then, if any exists at all. Otherwise, the hack program would need to be updated, most likely. Even if they have updated it, as I said, you can, right now, cheat in the game. They're not going to hit your IP. They're not going to do anything. They don't fucking know. So, that's the fucking scary part about PGI side of things. Now, the second side of things is they are aware of the hack. They've been aware of the hack for quite some time. They cannot do anything about it because of what I just said. If they could, they would have already. Here's the story about how I know all this, because you're probably wondering, what the fuck is this crap? Where is he going with this? Here's the scenario, and I'm going to try to be extremely transparent. In fact, the reason why I'm the person who's talking about this is because, what's the angle? I'm not a comp player since I came back. I'm not try-harding. I have nothing to hide. So if anybody's able to say all this without people going, oh, fuck you, or looking for an angle, it's me. And if you are looking for an angle, you're a dumbass. Anyway, so here's a story. There's a rumor going around. I'm going to protect names or whatever, omit some details, try to be as transparent as possible, but I'm not trying to throw people under the bus. This isn't what the fuck I'm doing here. Go fuck yourself. This is not drama shit. It was brought to my attention that there was swirling rumors about a particular player and others who were being brought up, auxiliary of cheating. And I laughed and I said, that's a fucking joke. And the person was like, no, it's real. And I'm like, no, you're fucking dumb. Long story short, I spent like an hour trying to tell this person that shit's fucking bullshit. These conversations always come up. That's fucking bullshit. It's real. They showed it to me. It's fucking real. Now, how does this tie into the current situation? Well, there's a $4,000 pay league going on right now. It's pretty serious. This person showed me the hack. I go, no fucking way. You'll see. I go, no fucking way. This isn't fucking real. It's real. And I said, we have to do something about this right now. In that moment, I sat down and sent a PM to PGI. Not an email, but a PM on forums. And said, I think there's cheating going on in this game. The dude. By the end of the night, I had whipped up a video, which is possibly the one you'll see. I'm recording this part of the video ahead of time, but I might remove that video. We might make a new one. But the point is, I sent a video by the end of that PlayStation to PGI. Or by the end of that play session to PGI, and I said, look at this. I need a response. I need to know what's being done. Get this up the tree. Do not delegate this to some dumbass, The person who brought it to me also sent out a message, this in the form of an email to Russ, which was responded to within 24 hours by Russ, in which he acknowledged it. And he said, we'll see what we can do. We've given this to the correct people who need to know. That's it. This was, quite literally, 2 weeks ago. April 8th. April 9th? When we first started doing this. You'll see. The fact that PGI has not responded within 2 weeks beyond we're aware of it, to either me or the person who emailed Russ, is troubling, to say the least. Thus, we're at this point where to sit back on the laurels and act like this is not an issue is both naive and potentially dangerous to the game. It's also potentially equally dangerous to be exposing all of this. But given PGI's lack of even the slightest concern, I think it's pertinent that at this point, particularly with all the junk going on with Reddit and with this league taking off, with money on the table, the potential fact that there's fraud being committed, the fact that PGI is ignoring an issue that basically ruins their game, now is the time to talk about this. So, if by this point, if you're trying to find out if there is a angle or some sort of agenda, there is no agenda. My agenda is to see this game recover from this problem, or at least actively attempt to deal with it constructively from PGI's side of things, then that's the right thing to do, ethically speaking. I don't like to play games with cheaters, period. I don't care if it's my friend, if it's my enemy, if it's some random dude I don't counter, it doesn't do it for me. I have barely even played since this has been brought to my attention. Of course, the same thing could be said about the other 3 people. Third was brought in to be aware of this. And again, before I get to showing it, I hope people understand that this was strictly done, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I'm aware about the other people involved in our study, this was done from a strictly academic standpoint. No, I'm not going out and using the hack or whatever. I don't even own the hack. I don't actually own the hack. The way the hack works is Helios Aimbot is a paid subscription. The hack works on many AAA titles that run CryEngine. This is pretty standard shit, you know what I'm saying? But when there's money on the table and you're able to stream this, then to me that's a problem. So I'm going to smoke this bowl now and show some footage that unequivocally breaks this game in half. I implore everyone in the community who compares this type of shit to just going out and basically trying to ruin the game. Fuck you. I'm trying to do the right thing here. We all want to see this game succeed and be played legitimately by everyone. If not, then you won't see me very long after this. But again, I'm the type of dude that's trying to be transparent about everything. I apologize if I haven't been as forthcoming about any of this information as quickly as possible. We're just trying to exhaust the PGI angle of things. We spent 2 weeks emailing them, talking to them about this issue with no response besides the initial one that I got and the initial one that Russ gave to the emailer. So, without further ado, by the way, just to prove that this is not like a Photoshop or something like that, I'll actually give a quick clip of the video sitting in my YouTube account unlisted. You can see that it is actually April 9th. Here we go. So that is the day, that is the time, that is the actual hack, the original hack video. Like I said, we might not upload, what you actually see after I'm ranting and talking for all this time. You might see something different. We're not sure tomorrow if we're putting together a new clip, but at the least you will see what is actually going on, what is actually capable with this program. And hopefully, as a community, we can all come together and figure out a way to deal with this properly and move forward. And I thank everyone at PGI for bringing this game to us. We're all really into MechWarrior. We all really like it. And we just want to see this be a game that we can all enjoy without it being tainted by hacks. It's pretty simple. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you learn something in the next segment. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the hack. Right now you can see that there's nothing on the screen, right here. Go back and pause and take a look. Now he pulls up a window and he's taking a look at settings on the fly. You can do this on the fly. This is the person who's been using the hack to test, and I've been spectating them. They're taking a look inside of the program on the fly. They just pulled out a 2D radar. You might not be able to see it because trying to block his name in the corner, but as you can see, the radar hack is showing everyone through the ground. It actually shows how far away their mech percentage and their name and the mech that they are in. The text is very, very small, but I'm sure you can
I think it's safe to assume that you can adjust that. Uh, I'm pretty sure the person who's testing this is, I think this is like a trial mech or something, so I don't know if, I think they just, pulled a random stock trial or whatever to do this test with, but as you can see, they're able to do snapshots. The aiming is not exactly functioning well. You might be skeptical, and I am too. This is why I said earlier the mileage varies. You have to program it to uh, basically stuff like what is the speed of this type of mech that it's fighting. How fast does a projectile go? All this stuff, and then it calculates, and that's how you program it to be very, very slick. Um, in addition to figuring out ways to actually scrub the way that the adjustment is. Like, in other words, the adjustment, as you can see, this is very, very little. Sorry, he's just playing. I'm editing out anything that shows name. As you can see, he doesn't have the aimbot working where it is looking very smooth or even being very efficient. This is because he's not a super psycho nerd programmer who, has sit here and like broken this fucking aimbot in half. But as you can see, it's adjusting very, very quickly to what it perceives as. I'm thinking right now he's running on center mass, so that's why it looks like it's jumping very, very fast. It's missing some shots and whatnot. You have to actually program it. You have to program. Nice, right there. But, I mean, that's not even like a. I mean, anybody can do that. Fucking. That's not. Nothing about this is special, and the reason for that is, in terms of like the aiming, is special because even though it's like inhuman compensation with no very little error made, he's still missing shots because it's not programmed correctly to adjust precisely for particular enemies' speed when they're moving, and the projectile speed is probably not programmed correctly because he's just shooting PPC. So, in other words, you have to go in and say like, this projectile I'm shooting is going to be going 950 or whatever, and then it does all this math, and that's how it figures out, how to aim. And as I said, you can make it look you can make it where it's running very, very, very extreme and going like boom right the fucking head. You can make it where it takes time to actually move the mouse over to the head. Various things like that where you can scrub it. Where if you're doing it where it aims very slowly, that shot right there doesn't even make sense. You just shot a fucking wall that was nowhere near that guy. But as you can imagine, it makes it where it's very natural looking if if it drags slowly and it's not just a quick jump and it's set. I think he's doing I think he has it on this jump and set because he hasn't programmed it very well because he doesn't care to. And because what the fuck, look at how fucking stupid this shit is. Why would anyone want to do this? I don't know. But I think the reason why it's he's just having to do that is for the sake of this footage, just to show that it doesn't adjust its aim. Like, in other words, if you program it exactly correctly, nice. If you program it exactly correctly, it's not going to be so Ouija boardish. You know what I mean? In terms of how it would look to others, and in terms of how you're actually using it. It's almost like mystical. You're watching like the cursor just jumps bang. But if you have it right and you're running something very benign looking like hit scan, and you're scrubbing it correctly, it looks very, very organic. Very, very organic. The issue really to me in terms of like how good you can get the aimbot going and whatnot and abuse and really use this to your advantage is it's like this. Theoretically, if Barry Bonds is a good baseball player before steroids, he's a good baseball player purportedly after steroids, like purportedly he used. So, in other words, like it's not like Barry Bonds is a fucking scrub, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the issue is what happens if you have someone that is really, really understanding in terms of like how to program something like this, and you have someone that has a lot of time to figure out how to incorporate it into their play, it's very, very potentially dangerous. Um, as you can see, without even the actual aimbot, you can still use the radar hack. And if you remember back at the first opening moments of this, there was nothing on the screen showing. So if you saw nothing on the screen, but you saw someone's aim jumping like this, that's kind of like, to me, a little bit of a giveaway. Do you know what I mean? And not necessarily like this person's hacking, but like a giveaway that that person doesn't aim like everyone else. So let's take a look at this clip right here, the second clip. Okay, so what's going on here is this is from me spectating the person using the hack. Look at the adjustment on the aim. This is 1,200 meters out on a spider. I don't even know if this will even render correctly in YouTube, like where it'll be visible. The spider out there, or the target that he's shooting at. He's pulling in this laser from 20 degrees off target and having it go straight to head. The head on this in the actual screen is a fucking size of a pixel. And he's bringing the laser to a dead stop in the middle of the beam duration with there's no compensation, there's no error. So that right there tells you everything. This is the original clip that we did on April 8th, April 9th, the quick testing we were doing. Watch the beam go to eyeball. Look at that. Yeah, the damage is spreading a little bit, but that's because he's so far out and whatnot, and because it's still bringing it in. But the point is, he's starting the laser from basically off it's not even on my peripheral, and it swings in within, I don't know what the beam duration is, like 1 second or something, right? So within 1 second, he's bringing it in from, what is that, like 20 degrees off, and bringing it to a dead rest in the center of my eyeball consistently over and over. This is obviously a more trivial example, but you get the idea.
Wow. Okay, so that's something to take in. In the past 24 hours, there has been some developments. It is nice to see that actually in the past couple hours, that PGI has released another statement, this one publicly in the 11th hour. That's very good. But as you can see, this is a problem that not only needs to be approached constructively and actively from PGI's side of things, which is great news. That's the best thing right there is, that in case you don't know, you should take a look at the statement that was just put out, the official statement. But from the other side of things is that the community needs to actively engage this problem without being accusatory, without pointing fingers, and without blaming one another. That's all bullshit. We need to actively work this out together. What I recommend is that the comp people need to realize that this is still, you can still cheat right under people's noses. But I think it's probably a good idea for everyone to either stream or record and then upload for later verification that their play is legit. That's just my opinion, because otherwise, who's doing this, who's not? Is it a lot of people? I'm guessing no. But is it happening? Obviously. It's great to see that PGI is going to be dealing with this problem, and it's hopefully going to be something that we as a community can come to grips with and deal with ourselves too. It's a two-way street, so I'm a little bit concerned about, I hope this doesn't affect any, I hope I'm able to log on tomorrow or whatever. I have no idea, but I think this is the right thing to do, and we're doing it. So, um, it is what it is, and let's work it out. Thank you.